Welcome to CANTO's 39th Annual Conference and Trade Exhibition. This year we gather under the theme, Towards a Sustainable Digital Economy. Join us as we explore groundbreaking ideas and connect the future.
Lines across the ocean, links across our world. They celebrate the victories won that bring us all together, making us as one. Let's face the world together, give strength to one another. Let's take our places in a world of change, right where we belong. Many nations, one vision, to grow in harmony.
We're thrilled to have you join us for the 30th Annual Conference and Trade Exhibition. It is my honor to welcome each of you to this premier event for the telecom and ICT sector. In these challenging times, let us come together as a Caribbean family, offering support and solidarity to help the affected islands build stronger than before. And we can do this, and we can commit to this, because your presence here, despite the hardships brought by Hurricane Beryl, shows your commitment to advancing our sector. This conference now is a crucial platform for networking, collaboration, and staying updated on the latest technological advances. And I want to pay a special welcome and a round of applause to Minister Vaz, who left Jamaica just to be here to dialogue with you all and to have conversation, even though he's wanted in his country, and some of the country has also been affected by the hurricane. So, Minister, we really appreciate you being here.
So I'm deeply honored to stand before you today at the 39th Annual CANTO Conference and Trade Exhibition, representing the Prime Minister of Jamaica, the Most Honorable Andrew Holness. This year's theme, Towards a Sustainable Digital Economy, resonates deeply with Jamaica's ongoing efforts and commitment to harnessing the transformative power of technology for inclusive growth and development. As we gather here today, let us reaffirm our commitment to forging partnerships and sharing knowledge that will accelerate our collective journey towards a sustainable digital economy. Together we can leverage technology to build inclusive societies, empower individuals, and create opportunities for all. Let us work hand in hand, harnessing the power of technology to build a future where no one is left behind, where innovation flourishes, and where the digital economy serves as a catalyst for prosperity and sustainable development. I look forward to fruitful discussions, unfortunately I won't be there, and exchanges of ideas over the course of this conference. Together, let us chart the course towards a sustainable digital economy that benefits us all. And I will just ask you to remember in your deliberations tomorrow the part of my speech where I said the time for talking is long over. There is nothing like when you have a unified force. And we in the Caribbean here, if we all hold hands and hearts together, no one can overcome us. Thank you very much.
At this time, we have a specially curated musical interlude of Caribbean excellence in music. So please welcome our performers.
Recently, I was in Mexico City for some discussions on AI governance. And a colleague who was on the panel with me, so this was a grouping of academics, thought leaders, large tech companies, AI startups, and others. And a colleague who was on the panel with me said that he considers that the world faces 3 existential challenges of our generation. The first is climate. The second is population. And the third is artificial intelligence and digital transformation. I want to align myself with that characterization of where we are. And I want to say a little bit about that this morning before I get into to say a little bit about what Barbados is doing in our digital transformation journey and why I consider that it must be at the center of our social and economic transformation, not just in Barbados, but across the region.
There were several standout moments. As you know, we started with our opening ceremony where we had keynote speeches, and all of the speeches focused on a couple key issues. Things like collaboration with all stakeholders, sustainability, digital sustainability, disaster preparedness and relief was also high on the agenda. We had several discussions on that, resilience in the islands. You know, the islands are faced, every year we have a number of hurricanes. So CANTO is going to continue to grow as a platform for collaboration with all stakeholders. CANTO is much more than just a conference. It's a hub where discussions are had, business discussion, issues are being dealt with, and agreements made to move forward as a nation. So the long-term goals, I would say, for CANTO is to focus on sustainability and getting this region to gigabit society so that no one is left behind.
My name is Brittany Young. I am the Senior Consumer Solutions Manager with Digi from Belize. Yes. It's my first CANTO. It has been amazing. I wasn't quite sure what to expect. I've heard from other colleagues who attended, you know, it's a great way to network, collaborate. And of course, because the Caribbean is so small, you get that opportunity to engage with other telecoms and other partners in the region and share experiences and challenges and, you know, get ideas on new things to come. So I have several meetings over the course of the 3 days. I still have one more meeting for today. I think there is a lot of talking and a lot of new ideas that came out of it. So that collaboration is going to bring a lot of potential new revenues and innovation to our business in Belize. So I'm excited. Sure. So for new members or attendees, I highly recommend attending CANTO. I mean, like I said, this is my first time and it has been an eye-opening experience, a lot of information sharing. I'm able to go back to my team and pass that knowledge down. So I'm really an advocate for the collaboration, and I highly recommend being a member or attending CANTO.
I'm Amit McCann. I'm from a company called Cerulean Technologies. We've been in this region for about 20 years, working with lots of customers in CWC, in many of the islands, about 8 or 10 islands in Barbados, Grenada, Curacao. So I know a lot of these guys for many, many years, but this is my first CANTO experience. So it's been really, really magical. First of all, Miami's been a really good host, but also meeting people from all the different regions, not just our customers, but all the varied people has been really exciting. The talks have been good, but I thought the evening events and the lunches and the coffees, that's where we've really sort of met people that have been interesting for us, and hopefully we can carry on some of these conversations into new business possibly. So looking forward to the next CANTO event in Nassau, which is again where our customer is, BTC. So I'm looking forward to another really great event. I think there was a good various set of topics. I think what would be really good would be, I think, to get a bit more interaction after the presentations. So I felt the presentations were quite packed in, back to back, one after the other, without a huge amount of time to have some interactions. So an opportunity to space them out a bit more, together with some ability to be able to ask some questions and build some relationships in the presentations themselves would be something that I would recommend going forward.
Awesome. So, a couple things that I heard last night and into this morning, really 3 points that I think were made super strongly as we get into this panel, right? One, we must leave no one behind, right? And I think it's a super important topic. I think the CANTO chairman reiterated it, and we heard Prime Minister Davis reiterate it again this morning. So no one left behind. And I think a critical point that we're here talking about.
Biggest barrier to driving change. We hire from our network.
I have to give you an example. Sorry, I love storytelling. So when I was in a job, and a job came up in Trinidad, a CFO job, and my name came forward. And the head office said, well, she can't do Trinidad. She's only ever worked in Cayman and St. Kitts, which are two small islands. Trinidad's huge, 1.5 million people. And they said, we think we need the right person for the job, who's normally top 5 firm, Pricewaterhouse, Deloitte's male to go out. And the person who was advocating for me actually was a man, wasn't a female, said, no, she can do it. And they said, okay, well, let's put her through the interviews. I went through 8 interviews, 8. The UK, Miami, St. Kitts, Trinidad, and multiple other ones. Passed the interviews. Then the HR person said, okay, you need to do some psychometric testing, Pat. I said, okay, I'll just get the HR person to sit with me and do it. They said, no, Pat, you're going to come to Miami because I want to see that it's you that's doing it.
Wow.
So I did a mathematical and English psychometric test. And she said, we'll get you the results in about, I don't know, in about a week or so. After 2 weeks, I didn't hear anything, and I called up and said, what happened to the psychometric test? And her PA said, didn't you get the results? I said, no. She said, my gosh, my boss said they're the best results she's ever seen or ever got back from those tests, and she didn't tell me. But I got the job.
Congratulations on getting the job.
So in the end, it all worked out.
Yeah, but it just shows you the right person, that networking that I don't think women do enough. That networking of, oh, I know that person could be great for that job, happens a lot in the tables and the arenas that we're not at. And so we need to make sure we have somebody there representing us when we're not there.
We are very honored to have ministers at the conference, and during their time here, we try to not only inform the ministers about things that are on our agenda, but we also ask the ministers to present to us or explain to us matters that are important to them. So the ministerial sessions are very much related to that there is an exchange of information and knowledge, so that we as operators can also look at how we can fulfill their wishes and reverse.
So regarding to the board meeting with the committees, were you impressed with the presentations and the outcomes of the discussions?
We had very fruitful and productive meetings with the committees this year. We are looking forward, for instance, to some of the objectives that they have. One of them is very much related to a competition that will be held when it comes to certain sustainable development goals. And that is something very exciting, and how we can move operators throughout the Caribbean to focus on the matters that are important for society, which are related to the SDGs.
Okay. During the Minister of Jamaica his speech, what aspects stood out to you and why?
The part of my speech where I said the time for talking is long over. There is nothing like when you have a unified force, and we in the Caribbean here, if we all hold hands and hearts together, no one can overcome us. Thank you very much.
First of all, I was very impressed by the minister, his speech, and how he addressed us. The fact that he mentioned that he supports CANTO and that we can count on him, that did me very well to have his support. And the fact that he mentions that the time for talk is over and it is time for action. And I definitely also relate that to the discussions we're having on fair share, which means that we as operators have very big challenges when it comes to capacity that we need to have available for all type of big tech companies who make use of our infrastructure, and it is increasing the costs for us to offer services to our customers, and they can just make use of the networks for free. So that is a model that we will not be able to continue. So we are having those discussions, and not only we in the Caribbean, but it is a discussion that goes around in every part of the world, in Europe and Asia and in the US, and we definitely cannot be left behind.
So you mentioned no one is left behind. Everybody is using that quote like you did a twist on their mindset. No one is left behind. Can you explain the origin and meaning of this quote?
Well, the meaning of this quote is very much related to the objectives of the United Nations to connect everyone, and to create a connected world, and not only that, to fulfill certain objectives that are important for the society, and these matters are designed in the Sustainable Development Goals, and we should do everything in our power to get everyone involved, and therefore, it is mentioned, we shouldn't leave no one behind.
Wonderful tranquil city of Nassau, Bahamas. We look forward to seeing each and every one of you there to experience our hospitality, to experience why they say it's always better in the Bahamas. Right?
We were treated with a fantastic performance from the Bahamas. So it's what we can expect in July 2025. Did the Minister of the Bahamas make an impression?
He made a big, big impression. But before I mention that, I think that is one of the benefits that we have within CANTO with planning ahead. We have announced last year that the conference will be held in Bahamas. Bahamas was able to prepare, and therefore, when the Prime Minister did his speech, he was able to present to us a sneak peek of what to expect in the Bahamas next year. So we are really looking forward to it, to the conference in the Bahamas. He made a big, big impression, And all the delegates were very, very surprised and are looking forward to the Trade and Exhibition Conference in the Bahamas.
So as I mentioned to my colleagues and the people that I met during the first day of CANTO, they can call me the CANTO version in this part. But the experience that I had, looking at the era we are going in, digitalization is a must. It is a must, especially for Suriname. And not because I am the Minister of Suriname, but looking at the different developments in the world, looking at the systems that are being used, especially in the situation for the poverty situation around the world, that Suriname can take an example. The examples that we received today and days before are crucial in which Suriname can play a big role. Looking at the possibilities, the partners that we have met throughout the days, Suriname itself with the development, especially going into the oil and gas era, can take an example of all these points. Digitalization, as I mentioned, is a must. If we're looking at the first point, because we're talking about different SDGs also, and the SDGs are things that I would like to see also more within the CANTO organization. We're looking at the people with disabilities, we're looking at the senior citizens, we're looking at the children and the beneficiaries that they receive throughout the government. We're looking at the social weak households. So throughout the couple of days that I have experienced CANTO, it was a very positive experience in which I can say that Suriname can be also proud that for this year and the year before, Suriname received the chance to have the chairman from Telesur, not from Telesur but from Suriname, and he is also the CEO of Telesur, to rectify that, to be proud of that, because we have placed example of other Caribbean countries in which people thought it was impossible. Digitalization, but also leaving no one behind, is very important to push the way forward, entering a new era of digitalization. So for the next CANTO, from my part, my advice would be that we take that into consideration to, I would not say that they did not mention, but to emphasize on that of the SDGs. And of course, I would like to ask for the people that are not yet in the CANTO organization, please, I would like to interest you in that.
Hi, I'm Candice Maglow. I am the Business Operations and Project Manager for Element Technologies. And I'm here at CANTO 2024 to network and really talk to some of our existing partners I should say, that we have businesses with, and in regards to expanding their business operations, seeing how we can grow with them and further do business. So my CANTO's experience this year was quite busy, I must say, with a lot of meetings. My CGO was here with me, Mr. Raja Hussain, and which was his first CANTO, so really getting his feet wet with understanding how the actual conference and exhibition goes, and really ensuring that he meets face-to-face those partners that we deal with. And this is actually not my first CANTO, so I'm actually part of the CANTO family. So this is just another year under my belt with experiencing the whole production behind the scenes here. Oh, I hope that you all had a wonderful time this year. I know that Tropical Storm and Hurricane Beryl did affect some of our regional partners, and that kind of prohibit them from coming here, but nonetheless they put on a fantastic show. It is always a pleasure being part of CANTO family, CANTO 2024, and I can't wait for Bahamas 2025.
So some of the experience that really touched me this year in CANTO 2024 were the discussions on women in ICT, and getting a perspective from someone like Patricia Walters on her experience climbing up the corporate ladder, some of the things that were expected of her that weren't necessarily the most appropriate things. Also, I particularly enjoyed the Guava Group presentation on AI, AGI, and security, and obviously cybersecurity continues to be a topic that we are always concerned about. We had a very good session from Fortinet and Cable and Wireless, and again, the networking opportunities Amazing, as always. So to the Caribbean, I mean, these are the conversations that we need to have all together, getting the right people in the room, and CANTO continues to provide that forum for us to have these conversations, collaborate, learn from each other, and continue to grow.
We look forward to continuing these important conversations and collaborations. See you next year in Curaçao at CANTO Connect, January 2025.